While the Founding Fathers were in Philadelphia arguing about freedom, one woman sat down at her writing desk in Massachusetts, dipped her quill, and told her husband exactly what she thought about all of it. And what she wrote 250 years ago today is still being quoted, studied, and argued over right now. Stay with me, because this is the story of Abigail Adams, the letter that made history, and the husband who laughed at it. Spoiler alert, history did not laugh. It is the spring of 1776. The American Revolution is not yet a victory, it is still a gamble. And in Philadelphia, delegates to the Second Continental Congress are locked in the most consequential debate in American history. Should the colonies declare independence from Great Britain? And if they do, what kind of nation should this become? John Adams is at the center of all of it. He is working longer days than almost anyone in Congress, building the arguments, writing the letters, making the case for independence brick by brick. Back home in Braintree, Massachusetts, Abigail Adams is running the entire operation alone. She is educating all 5 of their children. She is managing their farm, hiring the farm hands, negotiating the finances, and spinning her own fabric for clothing because British goods are being boycotted. She has literally melted down her own pewter tableware to make bullets for Continental soldiers. She has no formal education. Girls were not given one in colonial New England. She taught herself from her father's library, and by the time she was writing to John Adams, historians would later say she was a better and more vivid letter writer than he was. And John Adams was considered one of the finest letter writers of his age. On March 31, 1776, Abigail Adams writes to her husband. It is one of over 1,000 letters the two will exchange across the course of their lives. But this one is different. After asking about the fleet and the war and the mood in Virginia, she turns to the matter that is on her mind. The new nation that John and the Congress are building. She writes to him simply, directly, and without apology. She tells him she wants him to remember the ladies, that the new code of laws should be more generous and favorable to them than the old ones had been. That men who hold unlimited power over their wives are no different from tyrants. And then she adds, with a sharpness that must have made John Adams set down his coffee, if particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion, and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation. She used the language of revolution, the exact words the founders themselves were using against the British. No voice, no representation, no obligation to obey. She was not asking, she was warning. John Adams wrote back 2 weeks later, and he laughed. He called it an extraordinary code of laws, joked about the despotism of the petticoat, and told her that men knew better than to give up their masculine systems. He was warm about it. He was even a little admiring, but he dismissed it. He was wrong too, and somewhere in his heart he probably knew it. Abigail Adams never got what she asked for. Women would not gain the right to vote for another 144 years. She spent the rest of her life managing households, raising children, supporting her husband's career, and writing letters that bristled with opinions she was rarely allowed to act on publicly. But she wrote them. She kept writing them. Over 1,000 letters, now preserved at the Massachusetts Historical Society, give historians a window into the Revolution that no other document provides. Through Abigail's eyes, we see what it actually felt like to live through the founding of a nation, from the farm, from the home, from the place where most people actually were. She and John were married for 54 years. Their son, John Quincy Adams, became the 6th President of the United States. She is one of only 2 women in American history to have been both the wife of a president and the mother of one. The other is Barbara Bush. And historians who rank the First Ladies consistently place Abigail Adams at or near the very top of that list, not for what she was allowed to do, but for what she did anyway. Nearly 250 years after she wrote that letter in the candlelight, her words are still in the textbooks, still on the museum walls. Still being spoken by women who never had to fight quite as hard as she did, because she fought first. Here is what moves me most about Abigail Adams. She was not famous when she wrote that letter. She was not in the room where the decisions were being made. She was home alone, running a farm in wartime, worrying about her children, making bullets from her own dishes. And she still found the time and the courage to pick up her quill and say, "Do not forget us, we are here too, and what you build must include us." That kind of courage does not live only it lives in the ordinary ones. In the people who spoke up quietly when nobody was listening to the famous. In the mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers who held things together while history was being made somewhere else, and who left their mark on the people around them, even when they left no mark on the public record. Those are the stories I want you to think about today, the Abigail Adams in your own family. The person who ran everything from the background, who wrote the letters nobody thought to save, who said the things that needed saying even when nobody wrote them down. Have you ever thought about writing those stories down? Because I promise you, someone in your family is waiting to read them. Your children, their children, people who will never get to ask you the questions they do not even know they have yet. You are the only keeper of those stories, and the day you decide to write one down is the day it stops being at risk of disappearing forever. Every single day here at History Sparks, we bring you a story like this one, a real person, a real moment. A spark that reminds you why the people who came before us deserve to be remembered, and I want you here with us for every one of them. If Abigail's story stirred something in you today, please hit that subscribe button right now and join the History Sparks family. We publish a brand new story every single day, and the community gathering here is full of the most curious, warm, and story-loving people I have ever had the joy of knowing. We would love for you to be one of us. Come back tomorrow. Your next story is already waiting. I will see you then.